Pew. GM, and welcome to Soul Brothers, Solana's finest podcast with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it is not only our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole, but also to introduce you to some interesting and exciting personalities that are building on Solana.
Our mission is to take you on the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, you're looking particularly handsome today. What's that? That cup looks extremely tiny.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's a good start to the day. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So our next guest is very, very special to us. We've spent a lot of time with him. I actually remember a very specific party that we were both at over in Dubai, if I'm not mistaken. We could talk a little bit more about that later. He is the head of growth over at SNS, which is building the identity layer for all of Solana. You can do all sorts of things with SNS. And if you've been paying attention to the podcast, then you would know that they have dozens of integrations with all your favorite protocols, meaning that your SNS domain name gets more and more valuable over time. So it is our very, our honor to bring on a very special guest, the head of growth of SNS, Christian.Soul. Hey, Christian, how are you?
Hey, guys. Big fan of your show. Pleasure to be on. Looking forward to meeting you in person again.
Yeah. We're going to see you soon, probably.
So, Christian, do you remember this party that I'm referring to?
Yeah, I think originally it was supposed to be an ASAP Rocky one or like Travis Scott, and it ended up being some random dude. And then nobody. Right. It was a good experience, like meeting you and your wife.
Yeah.
That was the last time
When
in
was
Dubai,
that?
and then we're
I
going
don't
back.
remember.
I guess half a year afterwards.
Yeah, we're gonna find ourselves back in the UAE. Simon also actually spent quite a bit of time there. How long did you live there, Simon?
If you put it all together, probably like 4.5 years,
I see.
something like that.
Yeah.
But never I never did a streak of like a year or something. I love Dubai, but I can't stand it for longer than 3 months. It is what it is. It's a bit too much. Not gonna lie.
I mean, speaking of the UAE, Christian, are you excited for Breakpoint?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like I want to end the year off with a big bang for us. This year has been like
Mhm.
really good for us. Did a lot of initiatives in terms of like community projects, revenue as well too. So like a bit tired throughout the whole year because like we've been in so many events, but like really looking forward to like Breakpoint because it's basically the
Yeah.
largest event in Solana, right?
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you are at the SNS headquarters right now, smack dab in the middle of Asia. So is that the that's the SNS office right behind you, right?
Yeah, it is. You can see there's a lot of monitor. It's almost like a trading setup. Just because a few of us started as a trading background, so yeah, we're here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I mean, how big is the SNS team at this point?
we're on like 18 people, 15, 18
Wow.
people. Yeah,
Okay, 18 people.
around mostly remote. We have like 6 people here. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's been good so far. It's almost 1 year for me. Exactly 1 year, actually.
Oh wow, it's been
Yeah,
exactly. Well, congratulations,
thank
Simon.
you.
Quick, do you have a birthday cake?
Anniversary cake, basically.
Anniversary
What
cake.
did you do? What did, if I may ask, Christian, what was the thing you did before SNS actually? Like, did you work already in crypto or?
So yeah, I've been in the space since 2017.
Mm,
Before was working with a bunch of content creators, really good experience, just get to know like different projects. But then the ICO
mm,
bubble popped, and I'm like, like this space is so scammy, right? Everything could be just
mm,
bought up with a price, right? So left a bit and then like came back during DeFi summer. And then
mm,
yeah, was part of a venture capital firm, did that for like 4 years. And
mm,
then I think earlier this year, just because I saw the resilience of the Solana community, and I just really want to go like balls deep into like big hands-on with project. So
mhm,
found SNS super interesting in a sense that look like this company's been around for the past 4 years, so it's survived like multiple ups and downs and cycles, including FTX. It has a
yeah,
community, it has revenue, it has users, and a very vibrant
mm,
community. Right? So then it's like, oh, like this is something very interesting for me to get involved. Just because like
mm,
seeing the growth of Solana, I think it's basically tied up to like the growth of SNS as well too. And looking at the metrics in like ENS, SNS has a lot of potential in terms of like potential upside, adoption, and like new ways to like introduce utility to existing users.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
speaking of really cool stats, I'd like to bring this up. You guys actually just had your fastest quarter ever. This is absolutely nuts. Over 116,000 new registrations,
Mhm.
which quarter over quarter is a 450% increase for unique registrants. And obviously, secondary sales are doing very well. I actually saw from your Twitter account that there was Gengar.sol that sold for like $15,000 or something like that. That's absolutely
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. First of all, like for the reports, like and the numbers, like one thing I'm very proud of, like everything we post is on chain. So if you go to our website, like the V1 version, you can see like our historical revenue, all our stats. So then like we decide to like, okay, look, why don't we just create like a quarterly report, to like remind people, we've been doing really great in terms of progress and growth, and just wanted to make it really like fancy in terms of like not really fancy, but just make it very like easy for people to see and compare how much we have gone since like last year.
Yeah. So how would you describe 2025? I mean, you've been here for a year, but I'm sure you have some of the historical context for SNS's performance in previous years, maybe even a little bit of like history or culture. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, what was 2025 like for SNS, and like, how have you guys changed or grown as a company?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of new blood into the company. And at the same time, it was very helpful to have a lot of people who's been with the company for the past project for the past 4 years to like, learn a lot from them. But it's also a way for us to like just like renew the platform and introduce like additional utilities and like community members towards growing this identity thing on Solana, right?
Yeah.
My highlight is really being able to be on the grounds, going to all these events and just meeting community members. I remember the first one we did it during Katsambul.
Mhm.
We did like a first community meetup dinner, and then like the result was like really positive in the sense that like there's so many people that I met like unknown, and then I actually meet them in real life, and we actually refer to each other as like, oh, you're like Bonbo.soul or I'm Christian.soul, right? So then it really like emphasized the importance of having like a separate identity from your real life, because like sometimes I ask them like, oh, what's your real name? It's like I'm not telling you. Like some people don't even disclose it, right? So then
Yeah.
like throughout the whole like journey for the past year, like just going around different like areas in the world and just like connecting with the community and listening to like their inputs on how we can do better, is definitely very rewarding.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I'd love to praise you guys for. It's actually two things. One is your on the ground BD, and the second is your interactions with community members. One thing that I've noticed is like, let's say that I go over to an event in Hong Kong, right? And then I see Ohm or yourself having a conversation with Flash Trade or I don't know, Jupiter, right? Then I'll notice that like 1 or 2 weeks after I saw that IRL interaction, suddenly there's a partnership announcement, right? It seems there's like this like
Yeah.
really replicatable pattern where it's all like SNS goes to an event, they meet the people that they need to speak to. CFL is another example of a team that you met over in Japan,
Oh yeah, I want
IRL. Yeah, and then like suddenly, like 2 weeks later, it's like okay, so we like have a campaign with CFL now. I'm like, what the hell? And
So it's funny you brought up CFL. So I spoke with the founder. So what CFL is? Like they have a game on like on Secret. Like everyone, like if you have time, please check it out as well too. But Ryan, one of the founders, like we met up last 2 weeks ago during Accelerate Shenzhen, and then
Mhm.
like we caught up. He's like he was really thankful for the fact that when they were a hackathon project, they were only around like 300 followers on social media. But he said, oh, like because you guys decided to do the integration and do some cross promotion with us, like we grew from that to like a couple thousand, and like he was really thankful for that. And that's what really brings me joy. Like working here is being like very approachable, because we're not a super large company, so we still have the time and the capacity to like connect one on one with like different projects, new projects. And then just like seeing how we can help them grow. So like one condition we have is like, okay, as long as you have an integration with us, we're happy to see how we can like get yourself out there, promote you guys to our community, things like that. And then another thing is like I really appreciate like community members like tagging me on Twitter. So if anyone out there, feel free to tag me if you see projects that has an angle for collaboration. Always happy to just like ping them on DM and just like find ways to work together. So yeah, that's what gets me going on a day-to-day basis.
Actually, Christian, I think while you're talking about this, it is super smart to have a big following and a big community as an identity provider like SNS, because that is a huge reason why protocols integrate .sol. Additionally to the mere fact of abstracting away the pub key, which is obviously the main reason to integrate it. But then at the same time, if you tell these projects, hey, if you integrate SNS, on average, you'll get a bump in your followers. A lot of these new projects, a lot of these kind of aspiring hackathon projects, it's a no-brainer for them to integrate it, right? So I think that's like talking about growth, which is literally your department. This is, I think, a very, very interesting angle, and probably one of the reasons why you are so well integrated in the whole ecosystem. Are you happy with the state of integration in end of 2025 right now when it comes to Solana, or do you feel like you have so much more work to do to get into all these protocols?
Very good question. There's so many things I could talk about. Am I happy right now? I'm very proud of what we've done last year, in terms of integrations. Just even MetaMask was a big one for me personally. The fact that they changed like MetaMask to like on Twitter to MetaMask.sol, I'm like, that's a big win for like the Solana community. But I
Yeah.
think they had to switch it back to like .eth afterwards, right? But yeah, like integration wise, I think in the Web3, especially in Solana ecosystem, I think whatever makes the most sense, we're probably around like 80% there. So all the major wallets where they're working with, and it really creates like a flywheel effect, right? For SNS, it's like basically more integrations translates to more user signups, stickier like your .so becomes, and then just keeps on going on that. I think the next step moving forward is like like okay, now we are able to penetrate like the web integrations on the Web3 side. How do we think of more like Web 2 utilities, or how do we tap into the Web 2
Mm,
audience, right?
mm.
That's something I'm looking forward to like explore with everyone with the Solana community, and also like my team as well too, to make it happen.
Well, yeah, that's a tough nut to crack, honestly, because the use case is inherently crypto native, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you convince my mom to own a .sol domain? She doesn't even have a wallet. So it is
So
like the
yeah, I just want
onboarding
to
question is tough. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I just want to add another point as well too, right? Like I think, looking back at the space, right, most naming services, the highest proven utility is really like airdrops, right? So basically, a lot of these projects have their own names, like dot xyz dot whatever, and then they use it as a front end way to like help project identify key identities or users to distribute the airdrop, right? But what I realized alongside with other major naming services out there is like we try to aim for something different, and that's really by focusing on more integrations, right? Like it may not make money at first, but we're playing more of the long run game, right? Making it as a network tool to supercharge your experience on Solana, and like just adding utility beyond just the name.
So one thing that I'm super curious about is when you talk about Web 2 integrations, right? Like what kinds of things are you talking about? Is it something like, for example, being able to launch your own website using a .sol domain, which I believe is a use case that you already support?
Yeah, like you could do it through Brave at the moment, right? Funny, I just had a
Yeah.
call with Brave yesterday. A great team, and then like one of the guys just showed up with a .sol hat in the cam. I'm like, whoa, like where did you get that? Like, because it's first time meeting him, right? It must be like Ohm and like Ned's magic, like, by going to all these conferences. But yeah. So the browser one is definitely very interesting. Um, Being able to resolve like like .sol to like a website browser. We have that on Brave at the moment. So like let's say pith.sol can be resolved to like the Pith website. Solana can do the same as well too. So next step is like, how do you bring it to like like on a Google Chrome browser, right? Where like people can input like Christian.sol and just directs them to like a website. Um, that is somewhat interesting, but at the same time, we're also conscious in how we maintain our like Web3 approach towards doing SNS. So I think this is something that like we could like we'll definitely continue to explore. But right now we're just like figuring out what makes the most sense, and like just outweighing like the pros and cons of introducing Web2 utilities to SNS, right? Like, do we want to make it so that it's like Web2 driven or Web3 driven? I don't know. And I really want to, hear like, community's participation, like moving forward to see how we can like, drive this project forward.
Hmm.
I got a very good question as well. That I don't know if you have a great answer yet, but you remember, Chris, I introduced you guys to a company called Matterify a while ago, and
Yes, great
the
guy.
gentleman yeah, he's great. Like he's a cool guy. I met him on the
I had
conference.
lunch
We
with
had
him.
like
Yeah.
oh, here you go. I'm happy to hear that. That's great, man.
We met
That's
at
really cool.
yeah, met at Token. He lives
Mm,
in like in somewhere in like DC, like Virginia, yeah, somewhere like there.
yeah.
Anyways, please
Yes.
continue.
So what these guys are doing is really interesting, right? And there's a lot of bits and pieces, but one piece I think is fairly interesting. I wanted to get your take on it and see if you guys are what SNS is thinking about this right now. And this private name to wallet transfer kind of thing, where they I think now have a patent on, if I'm not mistaken. But basically the use case is really cool. You can send funds to a domain name without exposing the pub key of that domain at any given point. I have no idea how that really works. Haven't looked into the infra below that, but the use case is really interesting because right now everyone talking about privacy. We have this hype again, and people are aware. Like that's always we have these cycles in crypto where awareness spikes for a certain topic, which is cool because then it becomes a melting pot for new ideas because people just start talking about it all the time, like we right now. So privacy is a big one, and private wallet transfers is something a lot of teams on Solana work on. But actually, domains are one of the starting points that can enable private transfers with technologies like this. So, give us the TLDR of these ideas and conversations maybe you had with these guys,
Yep.
and your own take right now internally in SNS when it comes to this topic of private kind of wallet to domain transfers without revealing the domain, the pub key of that domain.
So yeah, it's definitely a very interesting topic that like I previously like was talking to like different teams about it. I think with the solution that you mentioned before from the previous founder, they have it all set up. But the harder thing I'm just trying to like figure out is like the integration part, right? Because it's like in a closed ecosystem, it's only specific for that wallet infrastructure, whereas like what we're doing is very neutral in a sense that like we don't compete with with wallets. So then like I think what they offered before is like, okay, you have a username, right, and like you can shield your wallet because it can link to like multiple wallets out there, right? But then the username is not very composable in a sense where like for us it's like, okay, any type of wallets, it's already integrated, right? So like we really want to focus on that aspect. But for the privacy feature, like we also have been exploring as well too, and just just brainstorming, right? Like that's more probably like a wallet specific feature, the privacy thing. It could happen. But as of right now, like what we're offering with .sol is more like composable and like decentralized. So it's
Yeah,
still figure
there
out
are
how
two
what that
ends.
privacy. Yeah, so there's like pros and cons, right? We'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting topic. No, I appreciate that. Thanks for the answer. Hey, I have a question for you. What do you think are the 3 most expensive SNS domains in history? What are your top guesses based on the ranking that I'm just?
I know
looking at?
nyc.sol was quite an expensive
Yes,
one.
that's
So
number
that-
8 on the
That's number
leaderboard.
8?
I'm talking. Yes, I want to hear the top 3. If you guess one of these, I'm gonna.
Give
We
me
owe
2
you
more
something.
chances. Okay, so nyc.sol. So it's gonna be, obviously it's gonna be a short domain name. Is there
There's
anything called
definitely-
sol.sol? Does that exist? Is that on the leaderboard?
On the 4th place, we have the icon, the little circle, the emoji, the emoji for Solana, .sol, basically. If you're familiar. But that's 4th place. I'm talking about the top 3, my friend.
Oh man. Okay.
One
So
more
okay,
chance.
let's see.
Oh,
I got
I
one more
just found it.
chance.
Yeah.
Got one more chance. Is it something simple, just like a.sol?
I mean, the first place is quite simple, but not that simple.
Okay. Please don't tell me it's eggplant.emoji.sol.
Almost.
Almost.
It's the diamond emoji. It is just the diamond.sol. And now this one, ladies and gentlemen, went for $60,000. So that's definitely diamond value. And then we have random ass Melania Trump.sol on 2nd place. I don't know why this is 2nd place.
So that was during the Trump crazy phase, right?
Okay,
Like
that
when
makes sense.
everyone started launching these like Trump related tokens, and I guess somebody bought Melania Trump.sol. I'm like, wow.
But why not
And the
Donald
third
Trump?
one is a bit weird, yeah.
Yeah, the third one, when I saw this announcement, I was like, right on. It's just, we talked about this, I think, on the podcast or somewhere. Just Jew.sol. Jew. So
We're not talking about that again. Skip.
You can skip. Like
That
I
gets-
had people like asking me, it's like, why isn't this displayed in the sales bar? I'm like, do you guys
Why
really want to
not?
display it? Like, yeah.
Skip.
I don't know.
Skip.
Yeah, but those are some fun facts, ladies and gentlemen, about SNS domains. So these domains, they can go for quite some money. And one last question for me before I give it back to Eno is secondary sales on SNS. How do you guys fixing currently and maybe planning to improve the user flow of secondary sales? Because on-chain sales can be tricky because you don't know how to get to that person that owns my domain. So if there's a person that has solbrothers.sol, how do I buy it if it's not on the open marketplace right now? Like I need to send them a message, but it's just a wallet. So how does I think people probably asking themselves a similar question, and I know that you guys already have things that help with that. So what can people do, and is there anything that you see can improve in the long term for secondary sales?
Yeah, great question. It's definitely something that like everyone's trying to figure out as well too, especially since we have no renewals or proof of like liveliness. So then it's like it's once it's lost, we can't contact the person. It's really hard for us to reach it. So then in a way, we try to incentivize people through various like initiatives. First of all, for the upcoming quarter, we'll be introducing a new like marketplace. Hopefully, it could like reignite like interest from existing like .sol holders to look at the platform and to like just populate their profiles so that it's easier for people to reach. Second, we have this even for the LFG campaign, we try to incentivize people to like link their socials to like Twitter, Telegram, email, so they contact them. Not some people doesn't want to do it. I totally understand, but it's definitely their right to decide not to. But we try to incentivize people with additional rewards to do that process. And third is we're looking at ways how we can maybe once we have some type of verification, they can automatically ping each other on Discord and Twitter to increase the the transparency and user experience. So there's definitely a couple angles. There's no perfect solution to it. Because some of the domains, if it's inactive, it's just inactive, right? It's really hard to reach. But one of the main features I like on the SNS website is I really like to stalk people in a sense oh, I wonder if who owns this and who owns that and what was the last activity, right? I don't think it's creepy. It's just interesting.
It's blockchain. That's the good
blockchain,
thing
right?
about
That's
thing.
the good thing about blockchain, right? So
I still remember doing this in Web 2. Obviously, we can do it on social media anytime. But then also in Germany, where I'm from, we have every country has this publicly accessible registry of companies in Germany, right? Where you can just plug in the name of the company, and then you can for like $2 you can download their financial statements and shit, right? It's all public. So I did that always in Germany to kind of I wanted to know how these companies are doing. And it's for me, this feels similar. You're like stalking on chain, everything is there. So I think it's really cool. And this user flow works well, with the current social link. It does work, right? I did send a DM to our friends from the Sol Brothers validator, which is a coincidence. They just use the same name for their validator. They're only doing validators and they own solbrothers.sol. So I was like, guys, you're not really using that domain, are you? Yeah, and then can we buy it? And yeah, we haven't made progress on the negotiations as of now, but at least I'm in DMs on Twitter and I know this account is owning that domain, so that worked.
And then we also have a large network as well too. Let's say yesterday someone asked me, oh, I want to buy Tom.sol from the owner of Tom.sol, right? So I reached out to the guy. He's doxed anyways. He's Tom from Monkey from 00.
So Tom Lee.
Yes. So then I'm like, yo, do you want to sell it? It's probably not. So we do have that connection, but it's just sometimes people just don't want to sell their identity, right? It's
of course,
how much are you willing to sell Christian.sol? I don't know.
No, don't do it. I mean, if you don't need it, right? If it's just a dormant domain, then you guys should, go out there and try to buy them up. It's similar to what Twitter is now doing with the X handles, dormant handles and dead handles and so on. They should get suspended accounts. They don't need to be dead, right? They're dead since 10 years. They can go back to the marketplace. So that is a proactive initiative that X is actually pushing internally. And I think .sol can do a similar thing where you kind of identify, which domains are completely inactive, not used. The wallet has been dormant since 2 years. Let's try to somehow get in touch with these people and get that domain. Obviously, you can't click a button, which is the beauty of this decentralized tech. You cannot get that domain without his consent. That's the whole point. But you can try to reach them. How much would you guys say? Or go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
So another thing I tried to do, right? You could just do subdomains and you just blast it in your wallets, right? I want your domain.eno.sol.
Genius. That is actually very interesting.
So when you look at the long-term future of SNS, right? I'm kind of curious how you view primary sales versus secondary sales as revenue. So if we look at the bull case for SNS, let's say 5 years from now, right? And Solana is now at $1,000 and we've 100x'd our user base and we have so many more protocols that have all integrated .sol. And I'm sure you have these conversations internally, and there's probably a reason why you dedicate so much time and effort into making sure that you have a robust secondary sales market. But just genuinely curious, without disclosing numbers or percentages, kind of where do you see the future of SNS? Is it kind of where we are with Web 2, where a lot of it is just secondary sales now? Certainly there are plenty of primary sales, but I'm just kind of curious where your head is at there.
Good question, right? I think right now, our head is just focused on growing the adoption of .sol. So relative to the Solana monthly active users, I think we're just around low 10% or maybe a bit under that. So if we just focus on primary registration, I think there's a lot of growth of that. For the secondary sale, we don't actually make too much from it in a sense that it's open source. Basically, majority of our revenue is just basically from a one-time primary sale, right? We have no renewals, but at the same time we thought about, okay, if we were to grow this idea of decentralized identity, identity on your on-chain identity, it should be very accessible for people to access instead of thinking of like too much on the revenue side. So that's kind of our approach for now, until we reach a certain point. I think what we did is compared to 1 year ago, I think we already doubled our registrations in terms of domains. We're on track to hit 1 million next year.
Wow.
So in terms, I think that is probably the approach for the next year at least. Just focus on growing the adoption, getting more people to sign up for like SNS registrations. And the marketplace, it goes hand in hand because we do have a lot of existing users who hold a lot of domains and want to like increase, the sales and the trading volume of it, right? And then we have seen like people can actually make money from, flipping these domains, right? Identity is one aspect, right? But then, using as SNS as a collectible, as an NFT or whatever they want to label it as, is another one. So then, that will still continue to improve, and like the platform will continue to be easier for people to buy and sell. But I think the majority of our like revenue that's supporting the team is still coming from like primary sale.
I see. I mean, you have all sorts of ways that folks can make money with their .sol domains. Like obviously part of the mission, I'm sure, of getting people to register for .sol domains is just to increase utility of those domains. And so another thing that I'd like to bring up, aside from very cool, if you think of a very dope name and you're able to sell it later, that's a secondary sale. However, you also are refreshing how you folks are doing your referral program tiers, right? So in the past, there were kind of like 4 different tiers, right? The highest tier, VIP 3, you need over 20 million SNS to qualify for that. And the referral fee is very generous, about 20%. The discount to the invitee is 5%. The proposal that you have, and it's not live yet, this is on Realms, is that, you want to reduce the bars, right? So the barriers to entry, so that folks can, even with a smaller amount of SNS, they can still, benefit from really high referral fee revenue share, as well as like discount to invitees. So just kind of genuinely curious, like what's the thought behind this initiative?
I think we should reward people who are constantly like sharing their, .sol or like showcasing their .sol to social media. That's why we decided to, instead of using a specific referral link, like you could actually just use your .sol name. So that makes it super easy. And then we looked at we're actually a very data-driven company. So we looked at our previous proposal of like referrals. We realized a lot of people weren't able to achieve that certain threshold to unlock certain categories of like referrals. So we're like, okay, why don't we lower the barrier right now, and then like see where that goes. And then like very happy to see that this proposal has passed. I think as of like this morning. And then that's another thing we're planning to do is like with this community voting. This is not a doubt everywhere, by the way, but we just want to like introduce more concepts to get the community involved in the future direction of how the project should be moving, and eventually we'll probably introduce more interesting topics like later on. But like as of now, like we just want to do tiny steps first to see how, like what's the feedback before we like decide to pull off something like much like protocol changing in the future.
I see. So even though the voting ends in 2 days, you already have reached quorum as well as the necessary amount of votes that pass it. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. It's like calling an election super early, right? it's like, this election goes to Donald Trump.
Yeah, and we're not voting from ourselves as well too. So we really want to see get input from the community.
Simon, how do you feel about SNS's community? They're fucking nuts, right?
One of the best on Solana, I'm not gonna lie. Like there's a few standouts. I'm super happy of the set of partners we aligned for Sol Brothers, because I love the communities of all 3 of these brands. And SNS definitely is a standout as well. And we experience it every time we're on podcasts and so on. We have always amazing people joining here in these. And it is special. It's a very special community because it is identity tech, and identity is literally it's who you are on chain, right? So people identify a lot with their SNS domain because that's in the nature of doing identity tech, and that in turn creates a really unique community, in my opinion, because of this factor that people identify themselves so much with it, right? It's literally part of who they are on chain. and on Twitter and on social and so on, right? Some of the people use the .sol, and I'm sure Christian does something similar on various social media accounts, not only on Twitter. Like, it becomes part of who you are in the internet, which is really special. It doesn't compare to anything else, I think.
Yeah, I kind of feel like almost. I mean, everybody I know has a .sol domain, and when I think about goated communities, Jupiter is up there, Bonk is up there, SNS is up there, Soulflare obviously is up there. Christian, like, what's the work that you guys put in to create a community like that, right? Like, what give us like the alpha, right? Like, how might someone try to create a community as engaged as yours?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? It's funny because like there was a couple like last month ago we had panel sharing. I wasn't the speaker, right? I think Net was or Asia lead. But it's interesting to see how communities can be created in different verticals alongside with consumers, like IP. So like in the panel there was Bonk, which just started off from a meme token, right? Pudgy Penguin from NFT, and there was like SNS, which is from domains, right? So how it worked for us is just I think similar to all the other projects out there. It's just like being very community centric, right? Being as approachable as possible, like on the grounds. And also I think what really helped is we're looking out for just not the like big projects out there. Like we're very like like approachable in a sense that like if you have 300 followers, you are still part of our community. Like I would still find time to talk with you. Based on like you're not a scammer or you're not some like random like bot trying to talk to me, right? But like if I could see genuine conversation and ideas, like like I would spend the time to just jump in a call and like just jam things out, right?
Yeah,
And
I think that's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think in all the other like communities that you mentioned, right? It's just like being very approachable is something like that I've been noticing. Like with Soulflare, they have a really good Guardians program, and with Jupiter, they have a really like a good cadet program as well too. So like with us, we have our ambassadors. We also have our like mascot .soul. Hopefully we can like introduce more like IP stuff like during break program as well too. But I think that's the key is like finding something for common interest for people to unite and to associate with, and then that's what makes the community very strong.
So, are we going to see .so over at Breakpoint?
No, yeah, I'm a big fan of Pokemon cards, right? That's why I was a big fan. When I saw Gengar.Soul, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then Collector Crypts was one of them we highlighted. But like, we're gonna be showcasing these cards.
Hey,
like
this is super cute.
Yeah, it's just something like fun giveaways that we'll be doing. So
did you put it in a card sleeve?
Yes.
Why is it in the card sleeve?
Because it looks so much cooler, like I don't know. Like, I have my Pudgy cards too, It's I don't know. I started like last night I was like ripping like Pokemon packs, but that's a different topic. But it's just nostalgic, like putting in the card sleeve and the card case.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we try to do more like fun engagement. So like we're going to our mascot as well too. Like every like country we do like a local activation. We try to have like localized like stickers and like theme to it. So then like people can just associate ourselves with like with that as well too. So I think IP is another one that we're trying to work on as well too.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing that you folks have done extremely well, and this has helped a lot with the education around .sol, is that like my initial perception when I first started working with you guys is that all the .sol domains had to be in English, right? Which was completely fucking wrong, right? Like you can have .sol domains using Spanish characters or Chinese or Korean, Japanese, Arabic, what have you, right? I don't know how the Arabic works because it's kind of like it's like reverse and then like .sol, but anywho. But another thing that you've done with your community is you've done a very good job of creating your own version of like super teams, right? Like for your brand. So you have the SNS community in Japan, the SNS community in Malaysia, the SNS community in Hong Kong. I mean, like you guys are everywhere, right? So like that also is. Do you feel like that region by region respect that you pay helps a lot in terms of like education around .sol, and like what does the growth of non-English .sol domains look like for you?
First of all, like going back to Ambassador, that's one of my highlights as well too this year. Kudos to our head of comms, Celine, for like driving this as well too. it's so fun to meet like people like ambassadors from like different regions. Like when you go to events, like, oh, you're from Japan, you're from Vietnam, and like like and then they also have like proposals, like how they're gonna do like community events, and then they're like super loud on Discord in terms of providing ideas. So like yeah, like it's been a very like positive and memorable experience. It's definitely one of my highlights. Going to like foreign languages, right? We're still figuring it out. That's why we go to like Korea, Japan, do these activation to see what's the best use of like Korean or Japanese specific like domains. In Breakpoint, maybe we'll do something Arabic since we supported that as well too, right? But I think it's a very interesting space. For example, recently, not sure you've been paying attention with like Solala. It's like so basically Chinese community.
Yeah.
So that like Mabel.Soul like she like basically ran a company on like anyways so this the Solala like thing became like a trend, and then so we decided to register Solala.Soul and we give it to their community, and then like right now they just created like a subdomain community out of it, and then like it's been super vibrant. So like I think different region like I think it's one of the more successful like Chinese subdomain community that we've seen. So I think the strategy is like just continue to like stay grassroots and just find ways to be relevant to like certain topics and narratives out there in different like regions of the world.
I mean, not gonna lie, if you had to pick two different languages that you would succeed in, English and Chinese are not bad picks. Because even the Chinese characters can be recycled by the Japanese community as well as even parts of the community, Korean community in a sense, because we all use the same characters more or less. Okay, well, Christian, it was so great to have you on the podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to share or talk about before you go?
No, I'm very excited to meet like you guys in like Breakpoint. Like, I gotta eat more eggs like Simon.
Let's go.
I only have 2 eggs a day, but
2. Okay, we gotta work on that, my friend.
No,
we gotta get the
I'm really excited
up.
to see how like to see like to meet like people from your community as well too. I mean, you guys have been doing great like podcasts and stuff like so. Yeah, like looking forward to like catching up.
Oh man, somebody already owns eggs.soul. I just looked it up. Obviously, it's a rare one, but
maybe the emoji works. You can try the omelette emoji or the poached egg emoji.
Hey, omelet? Are you doing play on words like AOM-lit?
Oh,
that's actually sick. More eggs.soul is available. Let's try omelet should totally work.
Omelet.
Omelette. That is actually. Did you just come up with that on the spot?
Yeah, I just came up with that.
Love that.
That'd be pretty funny. If you can make a meme from that, that'd be so hilarious.
You should buy it and sell it to for $1,000.
Yes.
Chris, it has been a pleasure to chat. Thank you so much for coming on to Soul Brothers, sharing some of your thoughts and visions as well for the future of SNS. We're super happy to be part of this whole journey. And we will see you very soon. If you guys want to learn more about SNS, then I think the Twitter account is the best way to get started, really. It is very simple. The handle is just SNS. So just look for SNS on Twitter. Make sure to follow them and get your own .soul domain, because then you're part of the family and the community. We definitely need to get soulbrothers.soul, because then we also have a referral link, because right now, we don't have a good one, so we can share the ones we have, but you can use any domain you own at .soul and use it as referral link, as a slug on the ref domain. So it's actually a really cool feature as well. Chris, has been a pleasure. You have a good day, and we will see you very soon.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
And
okay.
Cut. All right. So it's fine. So that's where the editor will cut, but you can still stay on, Christian. How was that? Was it good?
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
we stay live, so don't I don't know, say anything stupid.
Do I need to hop off?
No.
Wait,
I mean, at some point, yes. Right. So what's happening? What's happening next is Inu and myself. We're gonna keep recording some other stuff.
Later, guys.
But yeah. So if you want to go, Chris, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time. Oh, he just was like, I'm out. I'm done with this fucking podcast.
He has place to be. But we're staying here, guys, so don't go anywhere. If you are on the live stream right now, you can keep hanging if you may, because we're gonna do the Soul Brothers episode. So we are going to dive into the charts, into the latest and greatest. Isn't that right,
Yes, that is absolutely 100% correct. Just need a couple of seconds to get our screens all in order. How's everyone doing today? Would love to know how you folks are doing. Let's see. What do these comments say? Good one. I appreciate you, Cyberbroda.
Good one. I'm just
Right.
gonna
We
change
got about 400 folks on the stream. Hello, hello. Good to see you.
JM. I'm gonna set up the stream real quick. EP63. Today, guys, we're gonna talk about all sorts of things. What shall we use for the title of this next section of our live stream? Maybe the SoFi announcement could be something to use. The bank SoFi in US that allows users to buy Solana from Fi. Should that be the theme of the? Should that be the title, or do you have other suggestions for the title?
I do not. I'm looking through all the stuff right now.
Okay, let me try if I can come up with something.
Way too much news. Holy crap! This is what happens when you don't cover for a week.
Yeah, we didn't do this on Monday, so. US Bank SoFi. How about this as a title? Maybe like this. Okay. Yeah, guys, on stream, you can just chill a little bit, get your coffee, get some work done. We are almost ready for y'all. We're just setting up the studio.
Don't you feel like the better title is that the government shutdown is over?
Is it over?
Yeah, it's over.
Are we positive on that?
Yes, I am 100% positive on that.
Since when?
Since 12 p.m. today, 5 hours ago.
Ah. Really?
Would you like more? Well, you want to ask one more time, Simon? Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's been shut down since 39 days. Yeah, let me just lift it up. How did they resolve that now?
The Democrats flipped. That's how it happened. This has already been in discussion since last Thursday, bro.
I know it's been in discussion since 3 weeks.
No. Like
there was already soft confirmation that the shutdown was on pace to end this week, as of last Friday. Yeah, because 10 Democrats publicly said that they would. We'll talk about this on the podcast.
Okay. All right, then yeah, let me change that.
Hey Simon, is the government shutdown over?
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
all right. I mean, I don't really care about that. Okay.
Yeah, wait, I'm just changing the names. Zack. Yeah, okay, fuck SoFi and their Solana integration. This is bigger news for the world. So yeah, I just put the question again in the title. So
No problem.
How much would you pay for soulbrothers.sol secondary sales? I have no idea. I offered them $250, and I think maybe they thought it's offensive because I didn't reply ever after this.
Yeah, they probably thought that was offensive.
Yeah, damn. It's $250. Like, if you don't need the domain, it's money.
Okay. I mean, they're running a validator, bro. 250 is nothing for them.
Okay. All right. Then let's get this show started, I would say, huh?
And we're doing this with the new scripts, right?
So we're going to have 3 sections. I'm going to start with the TA, yada, yada, yada. So I'll open it up with a slightly different intro than usual, because the normal intro comes in the middle of the part, or after my TA, basically. So I'm going to start with this one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the TA. The question is, are we going to do SIMD and US Treasuries and IRS issued new guidance for crypto ETPs? Are we going to do that in the TA section? Or is that more something? Yeah.
No, let's do it during the TA section. That's fine. It's kind of headline news. We can refine this as we go. I get your hesitation, but let's not overcomplicate it.
Okay. Do we need another countdown, or should we just
no?
Jump
just
into
go
it?
straight into it. It's fine.
Okay.
Hey everybody. Okay, we're gonna get started with the podcast.
Awesome. All right, Caveman, let's cut this into EP 63. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the coziest part of Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers. Markets, prices, charts, and technical analysis. Let me tell you, we got shit to talk about.
Yeah, the charts have not been very pleasant to look at over the last week. Actually, the last couple of weeks have been a little rough. You called it. But yeah, looking forward to you telling us what the fuck is going on, Simon.
That is an amazing question. Let me just arrange my charts here, and you can pull up my screen and we can take a look together at starting with the Solana prices here, because obviously that is the mother of it all. Solami is now sitting at $155 as of today. It is the 13th of November, to be concise here, and we are trending downwards. We're trending downwards after having broken the Simon support line here on when was this? This was on the 2nd of November. So just at the beginning of November, the end of Downtober and the opening of Moonvember was not a moon opening. We crossed that line, and since then it's downhill, honestly. Since then it's downhill, and it doesn't look completed yet. That is my 2 cents on the charts right now. The formation here does not give me indications that we have found a local low. That means we can drop lower. So looking at the chart here and at the substructure in the charts, there's one significant wave count that I want to point out here, which is the red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup here with the brackets. So basically we had the first leg down that was testing the Simon support line. Then we had a quite shallow recovery to the upside in a wave 2. We barely hit the 0.5 FIB level with that recovery. So that's already kind of a bad sign. If you have a drop and then you don't have an impulse up, then the market is trying to actually turn the trend, which was happening here to the downside, because after that little recovery we saw an impulsive downside. So that brought us definitely through the resistance line, and then the market just started selling off, because obviously people were afraid and they were like, okay, where's the next support? The next support was found here at this green line down here, which is basically the FIB extension for this third wave, the 1.786, and we got stopped out over there with some wicks, and then the chart started to go sideways, and that's where we're in right now, in a bit of consolidation, sideways confusion, I would call it, and that is usually what happens in the fourth wave. If you've been listening to Sol Brothers doing TA, then you've heard me saying this a few times now. So we see the sideways movement here. It is playing out in an A, B, C structure. The C might have topped already here in the resistance to the upside. So these fib levels here are basically the fourth wave resistance. And we touched the 0.618, the most significant fib level perfectly. So we touched that level, and now we're on our way down basically from here. So usually these fourth wave can be quite confusing. They can also span for some time. So there's no reason why we couldn't see another leg to the upside. We could even go a bit higher than $170 here and still stay in the same structure, the same wave count. That could happen as well. So a lot of times in these fourth waves, traders are just they get taken out because they think, okay, now we're dropping, but then we're going up again. And then you think, okay, now we're turning up to the upside, but then we drop again. So these fourth waves are a bitch, to be blunt. And right now, if the C wave is over and we're on our way down here to the fifth wave of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, then this was number one, and we're right now in the number two. We're going to find support between $160 and $163 or $164 probably. And then we're going to see another sell-off to the downside. So that could happen at any moment. Now, a few facts why we might turn around earlier, and this wave count could change based on macro news and Bitcoin chart. Obviously, since we have some positive news in the macro world, especially when it comes to the US government, this helps us right now to stay afloat, I would say, and not dump further. But it doesn't need a lot as of now to dump further. So we only need a few triggers, and it would happen. On the good side of things, though, I mentioned it already on Monday this week. The Bitcoin chart did close its weekly candle on Sunday night above the 50-week moving average, which was needed to not open the bear market. It's a very significant close here, candle close. And now we're in the next weekly candle. Obviously, we have 3 more days to go on that candle. We're right now hovering exactly around that 50-week moving average, that significant point. And we see historically that there is resistance, and candles are hovering around that, and candles can break through it, but they don't close below it, at least not in the past. Because as soon as we do break below it, that usually leads to some more significant downside. That was actually a really good scenario to make an example of that in 2022 here, where we ended at $70,000 Bitcoin. Then after testing the 50-week moving average once before, a few weeks earlier, we do a new high, we retest that level. The candle doesn't close below it, but we don't manage to get an impulse to the upside again. So we're doing this consolidation, and then we're breaking significantly down. And then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a couple significant time, we're staying below there. We're retesting the 50-week moving average, and we go even further into a proper bear market. And we saw levels as low as $15,000 US, if you recall that time, back in 2022, end of 2022. And now we're here, right? Now we're here at this point, and it is tricky. It is tricky. There's no reason why we can't see another upside, okay? There's no reason why Bitcoin can't do a new all-time high in this cycle, but it would have to happen now, honestly. It would have to happen now because there's not much time left. Like, if we can't sustain this level at around the $100,000 mark, very important psychological level, and if we can turn around here into this last fifth wave to the upside, then the 125K we saw in October might have been the Q4 high of Bitcoin, and it might have been the fifth wave of a count, and we restructure this level a little bit, and we're now basically starting our decline here. That will bring us further down towards new resistance levels that can go as low as here this liquidity pockets that we have here around $65,000. Where there's a lot of liquidity, usually in volume, in the Bitcoin chart. So that is kind of the next significant level, and it could happen, right? Before that, we have resistances around 75K, and we have resistance around 98K, which is the next, the first level that needs to be broken to confirm further downside. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy right now looking at these charts to make sense of everything. And I know that me talking about these things doesn't help a lot to identify trading setups right now, because there are no great trading setups as of now. And also, I don't have the magic ball, right? We can't tell you where the price is moving next, but what we can tell you is at least our take on the wave counts. So yeah, that's it. That's where we are these days.
Yeah. So obviously things are not looking all that attractive. It might go up and it might go down. That's based on my own professional opinion. That is financial advice.
Here you go.
But if just to recap what Simon said, just very succinctly, we are at a very critical moment right now, where we're need to find support over at the $100,000 mark for Bitcoin. And if we can't do so, that might be a major downer, and we will be in a long-term bear market. See you later. Thanks for playing. Thank you for joining the world's worst cycle. But that's okay.
It is true. I mean, it's not heavily okay. I prefer us to stay a bit more afloat. I don't think we're going to enter a bear market that brings us down to 20K, by the way. Like if prices turn in the other direction, then we will just go maybe revisit the 75, maybe even the 65. We're going to bounce around there for a while. It's going to just be boring. It's not going to be hard, sell off to the downside, only if something really significant happened, black swan, that we can't see right now. But other than that, I think we're just gonna go down and stay there for a while, and nothing huge is going to happen. We're just going to range. It's going to be a range bear market, basically, not an impulsive leg to the downside, similar to how we haven't seen an impulsive leg to the upside in this bull cycle. It's just the way the world works right now. But yeah, those are the prices,
Yeah.
Those are the markets.
So we definitely I've rearranged a couple of topics here, but the first thing that
Cool.
I want to talk about in relation to all of this market price action is kind of the macro, right? So
Yeah.
there's some fundamentals that we can talk about that might inform what happens over the next week or so, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is definitely, this is a big one. We finally have the end of the US government shutdown. Yes, Simon, it has happened. 60-40, the Senate has passed, a budget that the government can operate on. It is the longest government shutdown in American history. Much like global warming, the extremes will get more extreme, hotter and colder. I think I would not be surprised if we saw another government shutdown by the end of this administration. It's been a long time in the making. Obviously, lots of blames and aspersions being cast on both sides. But ultimately, what swung the needle is that 10 Democrats broke with their party. They gave up on some pretty key asks to the Republican Party, and so the Republicans were able to successfully refund the government. And so now we have. Yes, we have a 60 in favor and 40 against, exactly the amount of votes they needed to pass a budget. It will now go to the House of Representatives and then signed by Donald Trump.
Wow. Well, that is definitely big news. I couldn't believe it, because we have been actually, it's been a 43-day partial shutdown, longest in US history, if I'm reading that right here. That has been now wrapped up literally yesterday, or even today on
Today.
US time. I know today. Yeah, okay. I mean, right now it's quite early in US, I guess, or late at night. But I think this is historical, honestly. This is almost cinematic, what is happening. Like, it reminds me a lot of what is it? What's it called? This politics Netflix series they were actually great. I don't remember what it's called.
House of Cards?
House of Cards. You get a good touch and feel of how could it be behind the scenes. I don't know if that's reality, right? I haven't been there in Washington in the White House, but a lot of schemes, a lot of political. You gotta love that game, because if you don't love it, I think you hate it. There's no in between. If you're part of that house of that House of Cards in the U.S. government, then damn, man, like it's tough. It's tough, honestly.
I mean, basically, I think the real headline here is that man solves problem that he created. Let's give him a big round of applause, everybody. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
big baby. You heard about those $2,000 what do they call
Yeah.
them? Tariff checks, right? So that's like another thing that the Trump
Yeah, they call it
administration
dividend.
is.
They call it
Yes,
tariff dividend. So
tariff
it's
dividend.
just a household kind of payment, really, to give back. What is it? It's kind of a ref share, right? To all ID holders of a US passport, I believe.
I mean, I haven't double checked on this, my friend, but like if
Yeah.
I follow the money, I promise you it's not coming from tariffs, okay? It's coming from money printing. Money printing go
Yeah,
burr, okay?
of course. I
So
mean, yeah,
do you think that's
yeah.
bearish or bullish for Solana?
It's bullish actually. It's bullish for crypto and Solana, and it is bearish for midterm to long term world economy and the safety of our whole system, really. Because the more you do these things, it has effects, right? Like you're not fighting any causes. You're always fighting the symptoms. And imagine you have a very important sickness in your body, and you fight your symptoms for 10 years, and you never care about the cause. You're gonna die, right? Sorry for the news, and that's literally what U.S. government's doing to fiscal and fiscal policy here.
I can't wait to see an extremely weak US dollar and all of our USDC is worth shit. Anywho, another piece of exciting news is the Treasury Secretary of the United States, Scott Bessent, announced today that the US Treasury and the IRS has issued new guidance giving crypto exchange traded products, ETPs, a clear path to stake digital assets and share staking rewards with their retail investors. Now that is fucking huge. I'm pretty sure that this administration, for all its faults, I begrudgingly will admit, has done wonders in terms of crypto regulation. It's easier now more than ever to register crypto ETPs, and they've also released very clear guidance about how staking is not a security, right? It is a participation in a decentralized network. So thank you very much for your service. So this is pretty good news.
I mean, yes, that you got to give it to them. Like, obviously, there's a lot of bullshit happening, but they're also moving fast now when it comes to crypto. They have their motivation and incentives behind that, right? There's an agenda, but still, it is good for crypto. It is good that they want to be the crypto capital of the world, and I can attest to US right now really being the leader to when it comes to regulation, regulating this stuff, right? Europe has looked like they are setting themselves up, like always, right? They're always talking about things first, and then they're the first that really move on something, I feel like. But then they do it right with Mika and so on. They do it really proper, and then it takes ages and until it's implemented, and it's very risk averse and so on. While US, they just need to get that moment where they're like, okay, let's just fucking do it, and then they fucking do it. And that's in the past 8 to 12 weeks, we've seen so many positive news really coming from the US government when it comes to crypto. It's insane. And Europe is right now, there's a reason why we have 6-7 Solana digital asset treasuries, all NASDAQ listed. They're all in the US, right? So there's a reason for that, because it is a bit tougher to do that anywhere else right now in the world.
Yeah, that's true. But we're now going to move on to our next segment. We're trying a new thing, Simon. This next segment is called Announcements and Launches, Hot or Not. We are going to talk about the latest developments on Solana. And Simon, take it away.
Yes, you are at Sol Brothers with myself, Simon, and Eno, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to take you on the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, how the fuck are you?
Very well, very well. Solana is on fire in a good way. There's a lot of positive news right now. If you don't look at the price, things feel really good. If you don't look at the charts right now, things actually feel really good, right? There's a lot of positive shit we can talk about, and I think this first item is a significant one. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we want to share is SoFi, which is a huge bank in the United States. What they've done is they've become the first regulated bank in the United States. This is the CEO of SoFi, Anthony Noto, and he's on CNBC explaining to the news anchor that they are the first regulated bank in Solana in the United States to allow the purchase of Solana from checking accounts. So you literally within their website as well as their mobile app have the ability to purchase Solana in the same way that you probably have the ability to get access to treasury bills, right, or other blue chip financial assets. So this is actually really, really big. SoFi is launching crypto trading, and now Solana will be a part of that story.
Bit of some fun facts around that whole thing. SoFi is. Have you heard about the institution itself before this news? Honestly,
no.
Interesting, right? Like it is listed on the Nasdaq, SOFI. It is a consumer-focused bank, right? It is a consumer bank. They launched SoFi Crypto. They actually call it that way. They do have 12.6 million users. And these 12.6 million users can now buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies, including Solana, directly in the banking app, as Nino says correctly. And they just use their fiat from checkings, from savings account, right? Like you all are familiar usually with bank accounts where you have your checkings, your savings, but then you have to send it to Binance or to Coinbase or to where the fuck you do conversions. Then you have to bring it on chain if you want to use DeFi. This is becoming really interesting now because now you can swap from your checkings into crypto. And I'm fairly sure that the trend is going to move into a direction where these banks will have crypto financial services integrated into their application. And that is the future we're looking at, because we're looking at a future where Solana becomes the global base layer for financial services that everyone is tapping into. And then all their front ends and all their systems tap into that system, tap into the liquidity on Solana protocols, and offer services from that base layer to their users through their regulated front ends. That can be banks, that can be permissionless on-chain protocols. We will have probably both in this world, but this is really cool. Like this is 12.6 million users that we're basically just tapping into. And the biggest fun fact of it all, Solana Foundation did not pay $20 million for this collaboration, because they actually didn't know about this. Like, if I am informed correctly, this came out of nowhere. And even people like Vibo were like, oh, this is really huge. I have no idea what happened. Like, we never talked to SoFi, but we're happy they're doing it. So this is great. I like it.
I think you're dyslexic. It wasn't $20 million, Simon. It was $50 million. Sorry. We bribed
whatever.
Western. We bribed Western Union $50 million because that's how we roll here.
Yeah. Best news of the week.
And speaking of being the global financial layer for the entire world, as well as the liquidity layer for all crypto assets, we also have to talk about Solana being the global state computer for the world. So we're going to start with a piece of news from Anza. Anza, which works in collaboration with Solana Labs as well as Solana Foundation, Anza is basically Solana Labs, now has a new proposal called SIMD 0306. SIMD, of course, stands for Solana Improvement Document. And what they're doing is increasing the per account compute unit limit to 40% of the block compute limits. So to compare that to the situation that we had before, per account, you typically were set not by percentage, but by a hard cap at 12 million compute units. 40% of the block CU right now is approximately 24 million block compute units. There's a lot of numbers here. So it's essentially doubling. However, the 40% as opposed to a hard cap of 12 million is notable because when we increase the amount of compute units per block to 100 million, that 24 million compute unit limit, 40%, will actually increase to 40 million compute units per block. And for those of you who are not familiar with what a compute unit is, you can think of it as like the amount of processing power that a transaction requires, right? So if you do something like a simple Solana transfer, that typically requires very little compute units, right? A mid-level instruction would be something like a swap or like a liquidity pool from an AMM, right? And then like a high compute unit transfer would be compute unit transaction would be something like minting an NFT with like all the metadata. So there are different transactions that require going all the way from sending SOL all the way to minting an NFT that have different compute unit needs. And so therefore, this can be really useful as we try to do more complex instructions on chain.
Thanks for breaking it down. I think it is it is huge because it matters a lot right now, right? Solana is exploding with activity. We have 100 million daily transactions lately. But peaks, especially peak days, they can still, produce a little bit of hiccups, like skip slots, uneven processing, and so on. SIMD 0306 does help with that because we have something called adaptive prioritization. So critical transactions like those with high fees, they get bumped up without starving the queue, which is really good. And it's the whole thing. Obviously, it's just a SIMD. It's a Solana improvement document that has been approved and now shipped to mainnet beta. It is live on mainnet beta. It's not a complete overhaul of anything we do here at Solana, but it's a small little important piece that will bring us a step further, which is essentially every single SIMD is that. We're kind of, imagine we're having, it's the perfect analogy is always the plane that's flying, right? Like the plane is flying, that is Solana, and we're tinkering on the fucking engine all the time. We're improving it. We're literally building out the engine and building the plane into a fucking jet that's going to go to Mars while we're already flying, which is quite an ambitious endeavor, but it's working. We're doing it. And thanks to teams like Ansa, Solana Labs, and everyone who's working on these things, we do get a better blockchain. And it matters not only right now for the time in that we're in, but it also matters for users and the ecosystem because you, as a user, get more reliable swaps, for example, or more reliable opens and closes for your trading. I think it's especially for trading, by the way, for perps trading, which is a big meta right now. This is really interesting because it is the worst user experience ever to decrease a position in your perpetual contract on a DEX and it doesn't go through. And then you have to do it again. You have to do it again. And at the same time, every 10 seconds, the price is moving. You're like, fuck my life. I'm losing money right now. Like, close this fucking. So this is the worst user experience ever. And we can't have that. And I think SIMD 0306 actually helps with that as well. So that's really good. I'm happy.
More compute units for the people. And speaking of more, Simon, we have another really big announcement. Over in the UAE, we will be flying there in December for Breakpoint. But more importantly, we have the first bare metal server in the UAE that it's running Solana Validator. It's run by our friends over at Soulmates. Soulmates, most people know this. This is a very open secret, not even really a secret at all. Our friends, Rockaway X, are the folks that are running Soulmates, and they are, very proud to announce that they have the first bare metal server launching in the UAE. And Simon, why is that important in the context of geographic decentralization?
We do need more validators in certain regions because right now US is, I think, pretty validator heavy, if I'm not mistaken. Most people are running their validators in the US because it is cheap, it is efficient. I'm part of that team. But we don't have validators in some corners of the world like Australia, South Africa, even Singapore, Korea. Like there's a lot of places, and the UAE is part of it as well. So having exposure there helps us to be a more reliable, global, transparent, and decentralized ecosystem, which also in turn helps latency, honestly, because the more validators you have across the world, the more in sync at the end of the day, bottom line, the whole blockchain is going to be at every part. Because if you do something in New York, you want it to happen as well in Sydney at that time, right? So we need to get the decentralization up, and it's part of the whole journey here. Yep.
I mean, from New York to Sydney to Dubai to Japan, we are making so much noise around the world. But Simon, I need you just for a second to hush. Just hush. What are we doing, Simon? We're hushing.
If people are watching on the podcast without video, they're like, "What the fuck are these? What is happening now?" Grim, can you enlighten us what the fuck is happening? What are we seeing on the screen?
Yes, so we're seeing a video of a graphic that is just repeating over and over again particles of light that conform into the shape of words that read "hush" with a period. So what hush is exactly is a Solana's first privacy first Solana wallet. Excuse me, that was a bit of a tongue twister. But look, we have a lot of wallets on Solana, and you might even think to yourself, like, oh my goodness, do we even have space in the market for another wallet? But we can see with Mert tweeting all day and night about Zcash, as well as the success of Umbra, that there is a huge appetite for privacy now on Solana. I would go so far as to say that this is the main meta that we see for products that are now launching. I don't know how long it'll last, but at least for now, we have Solana's first privacy first wallet. They claim that they take care of all the tedious things about staying private, including auto sheeting Solana. I have no idea what that means. Disposable addresses and private swapping. So that's very interesting. And it also seems like that they have built-in Zcash bridging.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, honestly, if it is same user experience, so kind of non-custodial Chrome wallet extension or mobile app, which is good, but it has the big distinction that you do have kind of a set it and forget it anonymity built into the system. Natively on Solana, right? That's the big difference, because you do have it on Zcash or Monero, but who the fuck is doing things there? The only thing that we do with Zcash is trade the token, really. It's more like a meme than a tech chain, but again, that's my opinion. Zcash Maxis right now just leaving the chat. Back to Hash. We get this natively on Solana. I think that is actually pretty good. That's a good news. What's the state of the product? Do you have any idea? Can we already do something with it? Or
yes, they will have a Chrome extension available very, very soon. It says the next couple of days. It's now November 13th. So wouldn't be surprised if it's launched already. They do have a wait list. I am going to their website right now. It says coming soon. So it's not launched just yet, but yes, they will have a Chrome extension. That is the current state of the product. In fact, if you look at my screen right now, it says private Solana wallet, uncompromisable privacy, familiar UX, peace of mind, coming soon. So that is the current state of where we are with Hush.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I have opinions on the whole privacy thing, but let's see. TLDR is just let's see how long it lasts. That's my TLDR.
Yeah.
Usually these things come in cycles and trends and waves, So let's see if that wave this time is sustainable or just a wave again. Because where the fuck are AI meme coins or shit like this? Like, it was super hyped at some point. Everything you touched in that meta got 1,000 likes, but now we're here.
Yep, we're here. And speaking of trends that come and go, I got to hit you with another one straight to the face. We have something called Vanish. So Vanish is yet another privacy play on Solana. But what makes this a little bit special is instead of the wallet focus, it's more on the trading DEX focus, right? So you get instant shielded trading. And, basically the copy that they use for their website is that people won't be able to copy trade you anymore. Your trades will happen on chain, I believe, but shielded somehow. This also has a wait list. So you can see that there's this kind of pattern of projects that know that the meta only lasts for a certain period of time. So what they do first is they create the hype video, right? Like Hush created a hype video for a product that's not out yet. Vanish has created a hype video for a product that's not out yet. But what they're trying to do is collect your waitlist signups, right? Because currently the privacy meta is hot and we don't know how long it'll last for, to your point. And so, we now have a new, I believe it's a DEX, or at least a skin on top of a DEX that allows you to trade privately.
Vanish. Interesting. The one thing I'm asking myself, looking at these news is, what does it take for the existing players that have deep pockets to just upgrade and insert a feature, a privacy feature, just a toggle, right? What does it take? Like, if it's really needed from the market, if people are really, if that is the differentiator that will make these new wallets and these new kind of DEXs successful and compete with the big fucking ones we have already, if that is really it, then why are they not just putting a team of 10 developers for a month in a room and tell them, could you please ship that feature in 30 days? Thank you. And then you have private transactions in Solflare, and then you have shielded perp trading on Flash Trade. Like, it's just, it's always, I know it's the nature of startups. Like, you want to break into the market with something that your competition might be able to easily do. It is tough. I just want to point out that it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, So I used to hear this a lot, back in the early 2000s of like, okay, that idea is fine, but like, what's stopping Facebook from doing it? What's stopping Google from doing it? I think in the case of a large conglomerate versus a tiny startup, a lot of the times the focus and the management bureaucracy of a larger corporation actually makes it very difficult for them to take on these niche initiatives, right? However, that assumption does not hold true for companies like Jupiter. Jupiter is a behemoth in the crypto context, but if we really talk about how they operate, I mean, they're not at Google size, they're not at Facebook size. And we know how they're internally organized to an extent, and they're very nimble. So unlike kind of like Google could just do it criticism, which I feel like doesn't have a lot of teeth and is just like a lazy argument. I actually do think that, what if Jupiter does it actually is a credible threat, right? Because they have a startup mentality. It's a nimble work culture. If that is the feature that is taking people away from the Jupiter trading experience, then they'll just build it themselves. Another counter argument to that, though, Simon, is that Jupiter might not want to create a privacy preserving experience and would be content with them just using the Jupiter API because they win either way, right? So like there is a case to be made that Jupiter is more than happy for companies like Vanish to succeed, because that just becomes more distribution for their swaps, right? And they just don't give a shit.
That is why it's very smart what Jupiter's doing. That is why it's very smart to build a white label product that you can just plug into the back end of a lot of these front ends, especially early on, right? But again, Software can do the same thing with privacy kind of transactions in the wallet, similar to Hush, right? They're also very nimble, and we know that Software is shipping like non-stop. We're going to get to that, but yeah. So I think there's also something that could happen in the software realm. Let's see. Moving on, what else you got?
Yeah. Our friends over at Perena, when we were over in Tokyo together, went to a temple and they shot a very cool video with goatfish. But the main purpose of this video is to talk about USD Star. USD Star, of course, is their yield-bearing stablecoin. It's currently yielding 12%, which is amazing because the first version of USD Star was yielding about 1%. Nobody wants that. They went back to the drawing board, came back, and now the TVL for USD Star is at about 12%. So I almost feel like, Simon, we need to be holding more yield-bearing stables.
Yeah, that is great, man. I mean, you have a history with yield-bearing stables. You like them. I like them. So this is great. This is great. It's really good. It's one of the main narratives right now in the whole crypto. I just talked to a guy from.
Oh wait, what? I'm in this video. What the fuck? This is my first.
Wait a second. Pause it. Bring it back.
No. I didn't realize that I was in this video. This is my first time watching it.
It's a random Enos spawning. You're everywhere, bro. Yeah, I think stablecoins have a lot of future. They are top of mind of people that are in TradFi right now and are only touching crypto. They have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but they know stablecoins and they talk about stablecoins. And I can tell you they do. I've heard it from conferences that are TradFi focused. Bunch of people in suits that just talk about stablecoins. There's product market fit on that angle. Yep. Huge.
And that wraps up our hot or not segment. I realize that going forward for future versions of this segment, we should probably end with some version of hot or not, But I think in the case of USD Star, it's a firm hot, very hot. We love yield bearing stables. 12% is great. Who doesn't want yield on their US dollar that is going to collapse anyways? You probably need that 12% just to stay at parity. Moving on, we're going to talk about some amazing updates from our sponsors. And Simon, I'll have you take it away.
I don't think it's going to be an extra video. We need to cut it a little bit. Like this is not going to be it's just going to be part of that. It's not perfectly structured yet in our backend here.
Okay. So I just saw the call out and I just assumed that there were my bad.
But let's just keep rolling. Talking about some other news on Solana that are related to our friends, for example, from Software. So let's check out what these guys are cooking. What's new at Software,
Yeah. So we have a Soulflare development update. The notifications page has been revamped, right? So the notification page under settings got a touch up, meaning fewer bugs and smoother push notifications. We have improved address validation, an update checker and reminder, and of course, some quality of life improvements, which include US upgrades across Price Charge, Xdocs, Explorer, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. There's just a bunch of different software developments over at Soulflare to improve your wild experience.
I like that. I like that. As I told you, they're constantly shipping, and even small things that just improve UI and UX is already big. So that's good. Do they got anything else for us?
Yeah, I mean, they also have, of course, more quality of life updates. They're working with a company called Alchemy, which allows them to get really reliable historical data fast and powerfully. So yeah, they're working directly with a company called Alchemy to make sure that you have complete historical access plus low latency for the best wallet experience on Solana.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's. I was literally. I said it before. I said it again. The feature in Soulflare Wallet that surprised me the most in terms of dev effort is just your historical account balance of time that you can access. I think on mobile I know where to find it. I'm not sure 100% on the extension, but there's this button on mobile where you can see basically your wallet and how the worth of your wallet, the value of your wallet developed in the past 30 days, 3 months, and so on. It's just a historical account balance of your wallet account. And it looks like a very simple feature if you think about it. But then one of my devs actually just explained to me what it takes to build that feature. And it took like five people 1 month to build that feature. I was like, that is insane. Like blockchain development can be quite difficult if you want to do it right, and if you want to, especially if you're accessing historical data, like the development of your price on Solana in a fast and reliable way. I think Alchemy can help with that, by the way. So don't underestimate these features sometimes that are being shipped from our beloved crypto companies. There's here and there's a lot of time and effort that flows into this shit.
Mm-hmm. And we have, of course, updates from our friends over at SNS. So we talked about this earlier in an interview that we had with Christian.Soul. If you haven't checked out that interview, please go over to our YouTube or our Twitter account to see that interview. But there's going to be an update for the referral program tiers. This is a vote that is still live. You have 2 more days to vote, but it doesn't fucking matter, Simon. And it doesn't matter because it's already passed. It has quorum and it got enough votes to where we already know that this resolution will pass no matter how you vote over the next couple of days. And essentially, the proposal is to lower the amount of SNS that you need to hold in order to get amazing referral benefits. Previously, you had to hold 20 million SNS to receive 20% referral fees, as well as a 5% discount for all of the people who use your discount code. That is being slashed in half, and that's true across the board for all the different tiers. So essentially, we have a huge update to the referral program tier, and we all love a good referral program, don't we, Simon?
We love it, and we need to make use of this a little bit more. That's why I want this domain, because I don't want us to have a random ass ref link. For a cool ref link, we need to own the solbrothers.sol domain. So, or we just find something else. But you can use one of our beloved domains like Crypto Schwarzenegger or Korean Cocaine NG.sol. We can also use these for refs, but I think solbrothers.sol would be cooler. Because that's how SNS works. Like it's literally in your .sol domain is in your ref link, right? So
yeah,
I'd prefer a good one. Maybe I'm too picky.
Right. And the last piece of news that we have are our friends from Flash Trade. You know that we are huge fans of Anas and Soheb and Mighty Mags. But the thing that we want to share here is that you can now do 500x leverage degen mode with just $1. That's nuts. In the past, I think you needed something like $10 or $15 to use degen mode, but they did some remajiggering for their effortless perpetuals trading platform. And so now you can engage in, hey, if you're down to your last dollar and you need to quick score, just go full 500x. That should be something that we do on every, did you, okay, you're sharing your screen right now.
Just want to try it out. What should we do?
Long it.
I shorted it.
You shorted it. Fuck it. Oh, nice. Did you put in $1?
Yeah, I want to test the $1 feature. So we have 83 cents of collateral right now. We have a $300 position. It's so stupid. And we're right now highly profitable already. So
23 cents.
I just want to
amazing
test the feature. Okay, let me close that trade. See what happens. Now, trade closed. We got 14 cent P&L, I think, from that trade. So we got a 17. That looks really good. That looks great. No, that little
17%?
P&L card.
Not bad,
17% on a 400x short here at the end. Entry price 155.19, and the mark price when I closed it was 155.12 for 30 seconds. This is high frequency trading, ladies and gentlemen, right on Solana. We're not there yet, okay, to do like high frequency kind of shit where you can really, but this is getting good, and this is high fucking leverage for $1 position. So yeah, that's really cool. I like it.
Man, Simon, you should have full ported your entire portfolio.
With 500x, sure.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a few other things from FlashTrade. Running them down real quick. We have Zcash obviously on FlashTrade. We also have Ore on FlashTrade now. So there's Ore right now. I can try trade Ore. Did you fade that, or did you take part in this whole hype?
I have been a Ore supporter since last December, so I am a long-term fan.
Oh,
in fact,
did you hold some bags until
we don't talk about our bags publicly.
Damn, I tried it, guys. I tried it for you. So yeah, or definitely also live here, Zcash live here. There's a new liquidity pool on FlashTrade, which is the Ore pool as well. Right now, there's no 7-day APY because it literally just got opened, but it might be really profitable pool depending on if the price is also going to go up. The more activity on Ore trading, the better the pool stats are going to look like. And then last but not least, you can also head over to CarrotFi, if I'm not mistaken right now. I won't open the tab here, but they announced it on Twitter. You can head over to CarrotFi, and you can put your FLP1 from your crypto pool into Carrot for some nimble looping, and you can make some extra APY, which is really cool.
Wonderful. That's great. I mean, always good to see a new integration on Solana with FlashTrade and our friends over at Carrot. They're doing great stuff. Simon, it has been absolutely wonderful speaking with you. I think it's been a very fun episode. We have 600 viewers, which is a lot more than usual. This is actually really great. If this is your first time watching the Soul Brothers podcast, this will also be the first time that you get to get the sultry tones of Simon in your ear, closing us out. Simon, take it away.
Thank you so much for listening to Soul Brothers and listening to us yap about all this beautiful news. We will be right back for you in the same space, also at a similar time, right on Monday for the next episode of the pod. Until then, please make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel at Soul Brothers Pod. Make sure to follow us on X, and also like this video if you're watching on YouTube, because we're growing tremendously fast these days, but we want to grow even faster. So thank you so much for the support. Thanks for checking in. Let us know in the comments what else you want to see on Solana, and we will see you at the next one. Peace out.
Adios. And cut.
We did it, we did it. We survived it all.
We're still
1
not done.
hour, 40 minutes of... Actually, there's no timeline reactions, if that's something you want to do, because I did them all on Monday.
Oh, you did them all. Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
So that's all done.
All right.
We have them in the backlog. We have our little SNS interview. We have our friends in the live stream that had some fun with us here. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Cyber Sia BM had some questions. He said, I don't understand the schedule, confused with the schedule now.
I got stuck in India and we missed the Monday podcast. There's nothing special about that.
I missed the Tuesday, and then now we're here. So everything's the same. In terms of the schedule, we're going to be on Monday, we're going to be on Thursday live, but we're going to ship more YouTube videos in future because we're cutting these long forms up into more parts to try out something new, because we are fucking around, finding out. With that being said, we're also going to close down the stream. Thank you so much for joining us in the live stream, and we will see you as well here on the stream again on Monday. Until then, you guys have a good rest of the week. And BM says, Eno's teeth so white. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he does it. I need to get a bleaching. Yeah, I need to get that as well. Mine are too natural, especially next to you.
This is
Oh my God,
totally
I'm blind.
AI. This is not my real teeth are yellow.
Shut up. How does that work?
I'm being serious.
No,
I'm being serious.
no,
I'm being serious. Like my actual teeth
you're
are
not
yellow.
serious.
Well, I'll show you next time I see you.
We don't believe it. VM, I'm also blind. I'm blinded by Eno's teeth and beauty. Okay, thanks, guys. Peace
Actually,
out.
Simon, you would be
Yeah.
really proud of me today, by the way.
What happened?
I signed up for the gym. I'm going to the gym tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we go into the I mean, I've been on a roll
cool,
for
man.
the last month and a half.
Yeah.
I've been sticking to a really strict morning routine. I mean, it's all been kind of trivial stuff like, making the bed, making sure the laundry's done, making sure like the cats are all good with their stuff. They have just stuff that I need to take care of. Like
Yeah.
laundry, dishes, wellness routines, meditation. That has all been good. And I've been consistent for the last like month and a half. Now I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And so it was almost like a sign from God. Yvonne, like literally 2 days ago, was like, you want to start going to the gym together? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that.
Oh, that's so cool.
6
I like
a.m.
it.
wake up time tomorrow, 6:30.
Cool.
I'll be going to
Cool.
the gym. Wish me luck, man.
I'm gonna let's be Eno's accountable party here together, all of us, including me, and let's just check in with him a few times, like over the next weeks to make sure that he's doing it, because it is a big step. BM says it right now, big step, and it's not. Don't underestimate I mean, you're probably aware of the waking up and then going to the gym, and then some mornings you're like, fuck, I don't want to go, and like it is, it can be tough, but we want you to do this. So we want you to win. So we're going to hold you accountable for.
So like, I think what I'm going to do differently this time than in the past is that like for the first month, I'm just going to purposely, intentionally sandbag, right? For me, like the first month is more like, I just want to get my ass in the gym, right? Like no negotiation. Like I'm not trying to, I know that my impulse in the past has always been to go hard, right? Like go super, super fucking hard. And I burn out, it's hard, like I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
My body's whatever. So like, I'm just happy if I wake up every single day, 6 a.m. I'm in the gym by 6:30. I do that consistently for a month. Then like so like, that's just my personal strategy for it. I know when I said sandbag, your face just went like,
No, that's fine. I actually agree. First get the consistency in and make a habit out of it, and just that is a win, and celebrate the small wins, like just doing it and doing it for a week and doing it for 2 weeks, and also celebrate the results, because you actually get results already after like pretty quickly. You actually feel a little bit better during your days. Maybe that's the first thing that happens. Maybe you sleep better, ideally, but then also you can actually see physical results from, like, if you do it right after 2 months already, which is obviously, it is some time. It is delayed gratification, right? Working out, that's a problem for a lot of people, but it is coming. And as soon as that's your first mind, you need to get to the point where you see your first physical results, because then you'll be like, oh damn, this is working. And this will give you enough motivation to keep going, actually, and sprint through it. And if not, we can follow BM's advice as well. Like, that's a great idea.
We need to pay some. So who's building Moonwalk for going to the gym? I'm out of reps done.
That's difficult to track. Probably we need some devices that track the movements and everything.
Is it a bad idea if I start with calisthenics? Is that horrible?
It's not. I mean, the first instinct was yes, it is a bad idea, but that's only because I'm a dick and I'm biased. I don't like the sport. It has nothing. It's not rational. If you find it's fun, then it's a very good idea. If you find this is the most fun thing you can do in the gym right now, it's a great idea, because that's the first step you need to do. You need to make sure that you at least have a little bit of fun when you go to the gym, and enjoy it. Like, it is painful. It's not something you do for fun, really. But you need to find something that keeps you going, right? And if it's if that's what helps, then I see the most people dropping out of gym because they're not finding anything that's fun for them. They think, oh, I do these reps, then I sit there, I do nothing, I check my phone, all these people watch me, like. So that's something you need to figure out. Hello, meow,
meow,
meow.
Hey guys, we got Jupiter on the
on the stream. Cadet just walking in here. I have the merch as well.
Okay, boss. Thank you very much for your time. We will talk soon.
Cool. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Closing down the stream, and bye-bye.